walk around a little bit. Denise walked by with that yellow pad. She says, I'm looking for speakers, and a couple of my friends says, he will. And I says, no, I don't want to. And they says, yeah, he will. Well, here I am. I'm a Madsen. I'm not the sheep owner Madsen. I'm the sheep herding Madsens. My dad and brothers herded sheep all over this West Mountain, all over this West Country. But the thing is I never got in on too much of this West. A little bit, because I used to have to come out and spend my Christmases out here with them. Me and Mom would come out, and then Ep Nielsen, he would go home, and me and Mom would spend Christmas out here with Dad. So, like I say, I don't know that much about the sheep outfit out here. Where my big tails were is on that East Mountain. Now, my dad was known as the biggest prankster around in the sheep business. I mean, he could ride into your camp and then sneak back out again before you knew he was there, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Like in those old sheep wagons, you know, there's a drawer you open up, and then you pull out the wash basin. There was nothing to open the drawer and pull out a wash basin and have a rattlesnake rolled up in that basin. That kind of helped the blood pressure on a few people. But the one that really gets me is the one on the East Mountain. I was about 8, 9 years old, and I'm up there with Dad, and we're running what they call the buck herd. We rode over into George's Fork and down in there, and we run into these two gentlemen, and they were moving camp. They had their horse, their pack outfit. Back then they did it in tents. We didn't stay in sheep wagons. And they're moving over, and Dad says, well, I was coming over to have dinner with you guys. And they says, well, we're moving camp over here, Lowell. Come on back in a couple of weeks and we'll be all set up, and you can, we'll be more than happy to let you have dinner with us. Okay. So we rode on around and went on. And about a week later, Dad says, let's go see if they got settled in. Maybe we can have dinner with them or something. So we get over there, nobody's at the camp. Horses are gone. Pack outfit's gone. He said, oh, I know what they're doing. They're moving their salt and grain from their old camp. Son, you remember right back there in the trees there was that old dead ewe? Yeah. Go throw a rope on it and drag it down here. So I ride my horse over there, throw the loop down around the hind legs, dallied up, drug it down. He's right around the back of the camp here. So I drag it around back of the tent. Dad raises the back of the tent up, and we roll this old dead ewe in under that bed and drops the tent back down. And we rode off and went home. And about a week later, 2 weeks later, these two guys come over to our place for camp, for dinner. And we're sitting there talking, and it was George Bench. Old George Bench says to Dad, he says, Lo, you spent a lot of winters out there with Ep. Does he ever shower? Oh, man, he stinks. And Dad said, no, I've never noticed that. Oh, boy. We get in that tent, he says, we get close quarters like that, you know, sleeping. Oh, I can hardly sleep. A little while later, Ep gets a hold of Lo, and he says, damn, Lo, I'll be glad when winter comes so we can get out on that desert. I can't stand that guy. He stinks like hell in bed, I'll tell you what. I guess it was about a month later when they moved camp that they found that old dead ewe, and by then, she was pretty well ripe. Like I say, that was the kind of tricks that my dad played. I can tell you just one more little one here. Now, when you work on the buck herd, you supplied your own groceries and stuff. So we're up there, and this neighbor of ours down in town, he'd go down and see my mother, and my mother would buy the groceries and give it to him, and he'd take his truck or his Jeep and drive up and have dinner with Dad and bring groceries. So he'd done this one time and set him up in there, and we all had dinner, and he left, and me and Dad went out to check the sheep, because up there with the buck herd, you corral them bucks every year or every night. You don't just you don't bed them like you do the ewes and lambs. You corral them, because you know when them old bucks they hear a ewe blat or they get the smell, they're gone. So we'd have to corral them every night. We're down there and we've got them all corralled up. Come back up the house, back up the tent. About 3/4 of our groceries are gone. Dad says, "Ah, damn guys. Don't worry about it, son. We'll get even." Oh, okay. So a little while later, I think it was the next day, Dad, he gets going, and he says, "Come on, grab that old pack horse." So I load up the pack horse and we get him all packed up, and we went for a ride, and we go down, and these guys was gone, out to check their sheep. Well, Dad loaded up that pack horse, and I don't think there was enough coffee left in that place to even make a cup when he got through taking everything. We went back home, unloaded it, jumped back on the horses, and rode out on top. And those two guys were just on the skyline there of George's Fork. Dad rode up to him madder than hell. "My hell," he says, "you know them, so on and on and on. Them people come into my camp and stole all my groceries." He said, I can't understand. He says, "They took every damn thing I had." He said, "Oh, you know, that's why we're up here, Lo. We're looking. Somebody come into our camp and stole everything. But our man, the guy they was working for, and I think it was Lyle Hall, he says, 'Oh, Lyle's coming up tomorrow. Whatever he brings up, we'll split with you.'" So, needless to say, we got half of his groceries the next day. But there's all kinds of stories there, like I say, between him and my brother Spencer, whose picture's out there on the wall. When you guys go in the men's restroom, you look right above where it says men. Right there's a picture of my brother. He was a trapper and a sheepherder. And if you're a BYU fan, go up to BYU, because their mascot picture of the largest cat trapped in the Midwest was my brother, and he put it up there. Thank you.